Vacha Swayambhuvasya cha manor Vamsha parama sammataha Khatyatam bhagavanyatra Maithune naindire praja. Translation somebody can read.
Vasudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Translation Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Vidura said, the line of Swayambhuva Manu was most esteemed. O worshipful sage, I beg you, give me an account of this race whose progeny multiplied through sexual intercourse. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So text 2, you are generally not reading the purport, right? It is taking a lot of time, right?
Prabhu, it is up to you. However you decide.
Yeah, we'll go to text 2.
Yeah,
maybe.
sure, Prabhu. Prashanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Priyavrato tanavado suto swayambhuvasya vai yatha dharmam jagupato sattadvipavati mahim. Thank you Mataji, thank you Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranams, Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation by Srila Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The two great sons of Swayambhuva Muni, Priyavrata and Uttanapada, ruled the world, consisting of 7 islands, just according to religious principles. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll read text 3. Then text 4 and 5 we'll read after discussing these. Yeah.
Divya Mataji.
तस्य वैदुहिता ब्रह्मन् देवहूतीति विश्रुता पत्नी प्रजापतेरुक्ता कर्दमस्य त्वया नग. हरे कृष्ण माताजी. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. प्रणाम.
Vishwabhanu Mataji. Translation.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandvat Pranam. O holy Brahmana, O sinless one, you have spoken of this daughter, known by the name Devhuti of the sage Kadarma, the Lord of created beings. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll see these 3 shlokas now. Shrimad Bhagavatam explains the 10 topics. So can somebody tell, maybe each one can tell one topic or whatever maximum we can remember? Which are the 10 topics? Yeah.
Sarga, Visarga.
Yeah, one you can tell. Yeah, Sarga, Visarga.
Sthanam.
Yeah, Sthanam.
Poshanam.
Uti. Okay. So yeah. So here, which one is explained? This section. Which is explained? Some Mataji told last. So
Manvantara, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Manvantara. Why? Because it's starting with Swayambhuva Manu. So Swayambhuva Manu was most esteemed. So the duty of the Manus was to create progeny. So in a day of Brahma, how many Manus appear?
14.
14
Manus. So who is the first one? Out of 14, who is the first one?
Swayambhuva Manu.
Swayambhuva Manu. Yeah. Swayambhuva Manu is the first one. And who is the current one?
Vaivasvata Manu.
Vaivasvata Manu.
And which Manvantara it is?
Seventh Manvantara.
Seventh Manvantara, right. So in a day of Brahma, 14 Manus appear, and each day the Manus, this actually this Swayambhuva Manu, all these are the posts. I mean each like Indra. So Indra is a post. So each the Jivatmas they take the post will be different, and every how many Divya Yugas each Manu rules?
72.
71. 71 Divya Yugas. 71 Divya Yugas, each Manu they rule, and the next Manu takes over, like that. We have 14 Manus in the day of Brahma, and the same 1000 Divya Yugas is the night of the Brahma also. So it is in how like Indra changes, the different Jivatmas take the different this Manu post in different days of Brahma. Since Swayambhuva Manu is the first Manu, here it's explained. So in Bhagavatam, we have different explanations of different Manus, and also we have here the explanation of Swayambhuva Manu and who are his sons, two sons, it's Uttanapada and
Priyavrata.
Priyavrata. Yeah, Priyavrata. And daughter is the Devahuti. So very exalted personalities, because these Manus are the Vibhutis of the Lord. Like the Devatas are the Vibhutis of the Lord. They are the empowered personalities. So they are personally empowered by Lord, and they are having some special powers. So Manus, they generally take care of the earthly planets. They give the Manu Samhitas, which explains the rules and regulations for society, or basically you can tell the Varnashrama rules. It's given by the Manus. So Manus generally they take care of the Bhumandala, this category of the earthly planets, whereas the Devatas they take care of the higher planets, Svargaloka. But the mission is the same, to establish dharma. So basically the dharma means the highest dharma. Which is the highest dharma? Krishna prema. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje ahetuki apratihata yatma suprasidati. So dharma is having different barometers. It's like different angles we can see. But basically what Manus they give is the Varnashram dharma. Basically it you can be sometimes we call it the karma yogas. So we have the bhakti yoga, where the activities themselves are directly connected to the Lord. For example, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all the Archanam. These are the activities which are directly connected to the Lord and increase our bhakti also. But activities of the Varnashrama may not be directly connected with the bhakti. We may be having the occupational duties. Some rules and regulations might be there, but the ultimate purpose, they also get linked to the bhakti. It's like all the rules and regulations of Varnashrama dharma ultimately meant to come to the point of surrendering to the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna. So we can link all the activities to Lord and offer the results also. Whatever occupation we are doing, whatever the results we get, whatever the wealth we get, we offer the results to the pleasure of the Lord. That's why in Grahastha Ashram, one of the prime duties of is to give the charity, because then only the dhana shuddhi will happen. So offering results to the Lord. And we have the Daivi Varnashrama system, like keeping Krishna in the center. basically, if you see, pure Varnashrama is the material only, because it focuses on the dharma, artha, and kama. The rules and regulations are there to live comfortably in the world. But comfortably in the world, that means you are going in the repeated birth and death cycle. But when Supreme Lord comes into picture, then that becomes Daivi Varnashram. So the whole enjoyment is for the material body, but when Krishna comes into picture, it becomes Daivi Varnashrama. So Bhakti, the main emphasis is on hearing and chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam, but the Varnashrama system, the emphasis is on Artha and Kama. So little bhakti might be their connection, might be there, but if the general mass, if they do not have so much faith in the Lord, it is better that they go through the Varnashrama system. They follow the Varnashram path and then eventually come to the bhakti. But if one has full faith in the Lord, the Shraddha is there, then they can directly take to the bhakti yoga. It is like, directly connecting with the Lord, with the Navavida bhakti process. So these Manus who were here mentioned, the Swayambhuva Manu, and the rulers like the Priyavrata, all the great personalities, they are following the rules and regulations of the Varnashrama Dharma. At the same time, they are devotees also. Why do they follow the rules and regulations of Varnashrama Dharma? Because whatever the great personalities, they are what examples they said, the common man will follow. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tat te vetaro janah. So that great persons, whoever they are setting up the example, the general mass, they take the inspiration from these people like these Manu or Uttanapad or King Priyavrata. So that's the reason the Manus, they give this Manu Samhita, so that there are laws and orders in the society. So basically, previously, if you see, these Vedas are considered to be the confidential. The guru decides whom to give the knowledge, whether the disciple is qualified or not. And if the disciple is qualified, then he is initiated into Gayatri, and then he is given the Vedic knowledge. So that's why the Vedas are called secret previously. But because of the mercy of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he did not see who is fit, who is not fit, who is qualified, who is not qualified. That is the mercy coming from Lord Gauranga. So even he is giving the highest confidential Krishna prema to even the most fallen. So that's why in the Bhagavad Gita also it is said it comes through the Guru Parampara. First it was given to the sun god, then eventually it came down, but the succession is broken. That's why Krishna told, I am giving this knowledge to you, Arjuna. So this knowledge which is coming down, the Adhyatmika knowledge, previously it was considered to be confidential knowledge. But Lord Chaitanya and his associates, they broke open the treasure house of this holy name, and they distributed freely to each and everyone. That's why we have got this mercy, and we are now able to understand the philosophy, what has been explained in Bhagavad Gita and Shrimad Bhagavatam by the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Guru Parampara. So maybe we can read the fourth shloka and fifth shloka, then we can continue. The fourth shloka, please. Somebody can read.
Vedavni Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
तस्यां स वै महायोगी युक्तायां योगलक्षणैः ससर्ज कथिता वीर्यं तन्मे शुश्रूषवे वदा. Translation, can I read, Mataji?
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Read.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. How many offspring did the great yogi beget through the princess, who was endowed with eightfold perfection in the yoga principles? Oh, pray tell me this, for I am eager to hear it. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Fifth shloka.
Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna, pranams. रुचिर्यो भगवान् ब्रह्मन् दक्षो वा ब्राह्मणासुदा यदा ससर्ज भूतानि लब्ध्वा भार्यां च मानवीम्. हरे कृष्ण.
Ramakrishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I'm not able to.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Prabhu.
Oh, oh, holy sage, tell me how the worshipable Rishi and Daksha, the son of Brahma, generated children after securing as their wives the other two daughters of Swayambhu Manu.
Yeah, thank you. So here it's mentioned Devavati performed eightfold mystic system yoga, this Ashtanga yoga system. So what are the eight principles of yoga system? What are the things? Can
Yama,
somebody
niyama.
explain? Yeah, Yama, Niyama.
Yama,
Pratyahar,
pratyahara,
pranayama,
Asana, Pranayama,
dhyana, dhyana, dharana,
Dharana, Dhyana. Then
Pratyahara.
before that one,
Samadhi.
Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and then
Samadhi.
Samadhi.
and samadhi.
So here it's mentioned Devahuti perfected her life through the Ashtanga yoga system. Who was the husband of Devahuti?
Vardhamana.
Kardama Muni. So Devahuti is coming from rich family, like very aristocratic. But Kardama Muni, what was his position? He was an exalted personality. So here we can see, even though Devahuti coming from very aristocratic family, she is getting married to Kardama Muni, who is living in simple hut. But he is very much accomplished in spiritual life. So Devahuti assisted him. Here we can see that Devahuti represents a disciple who is not so qualified, whereas Kardama Muni represents a very high qualified guru. And the way Devahuti served sincerely the Kardama Muni, she got all perfection because of his mercy. So here, if a disciple is sincerely serving, even though he may not be highly qualified, by the mercy of Guru, he can achieve perfection. But he has to sincerely strive and serve. That is the qualification. So in the previous ages, we can see the women were also so highly qualified. We see another similar example in Bhagavatam. Can you tell who is that? So Ambarish Maharaj and his queen. So how much Ambarish Maharaj was qualified, equally qualified was his wife. We see how Ambarish Maharaj, even though he was a king, he delegated all his responsibility to ministers, and he used to do all the Namavidha 9 processes of devotional service. So here we can see Devahuti was also very advanced. So Kardama Muni and Devahuti. And here another principles we can see, especially very important for the Grahasthas. In Grahastha life also, in order to, the one of the prime services of Grahasthas to beget Krishna conscious children. So that is what here also it is mentioned. The duties of the Manus is to create progeny. But what kind of progeny? Not like the cats and dogs. Uh, the Krishna conscious progeny. So Vamsha Vriddhi, it has to happen, the service has to happen on behalf of God or Krishna. Uh, so previously, whatever progeny they used to create, all the kings, they used to pass on the legacy to their children. We have, just like we have relay running, this relay, and one guy, he runs very fast, and after he finishes, he passes on his, the whatever the stick or whatever is there, on to the next candidate. Then he starts running. So same way, even the great kings, they used to pass on their legacy of Krishna consciousness to their children. That kind of progeny they used to create. Not for the sense gratification. The sense gratification plunges one into the ignorance. So whenever the material desires arise, and when material desires arise, one engages in the sense gratification, that will only give shape to many more material desires, and the material desires multiplies. Now, it is like one cancer is there, and cancer, they most of the part they remove it, and little bit portion, if it is left over, that spreads like anything. Bacteria and viruses, they multiply. So similarly, this material desires, if one is not restraining them, and he just gives in to the material desire, it gets multiplied. And he makes different plan how I can enjoy in future. Previously I had enjoyed like this. So in Bhagavad Gita, what is it is said, dushpurena nilena. It's like pouring the petrol in the fire. The fire is burning, and in order to extinguish it, instead of pouring the water, you are pouring petrol on it. What will happen? Instead of getting extinguished, it burns more. So that's how the materialists, they think, I will enjoy so that the desires gets satisfied. It doesn't work that way. Foolishly we think that when we are nagged by the desires, just like the itching sensation, if I scratch it, it will go away. It's not that way. If you scratch, it spreads. So in order to overcome it, you need to do two things. First thing, you need to stop scratching. That means stop indulging in it. Second thing, apply the medicine. That means chant the holy name. So on one side, stopping doesn't spread it further. That means your material desires are not increased or doesn't get multiplied. On the other hand, applying medicines does what it does. Whatever is already there, the itching sensation, that gets cured. It is like chanting the holy name. So similarly, material desires also. For stopping it or eliminating it, one should not give shape to material desires. There will be so many pull in the heart, to get indulged in the material desires, because objects of the senses outside are attracting. And from within, the heart is pulling. So it is like outside, externally, we have material objects. Inside, heart is pulling because unclean mind is there. Clean mind is there, or the material desires so much push inside. Outside, the Maya is alluring with the external sense objects. So we should not allow them to connect. Actually, the soul is in between. It's getting pulled on both the sides. So don't give it a connection. Keep the objects of senses far away. At the same time, clean the material desire by engaging in Krishna consciousness. So whenever we get the itch of itching, that's some pulling from inside, restrain it. At the same time, engage in higher Krishna conscious activities. So that way one can control the senses and the mind. That is the way. But the problem is, whatever good for the body, we don't like it. For example, Karela, or if something is good, we don't like it. But we want something which, fried items, which is not good for health, fried items. Or if one is having diabetes, he wants sweet only. So that way. So that is the reason this yoga system is there. In Ashtanga Yoga, what one does, Yama Niyama. What Yama Niyama? What are the rules and regulations in Yama? Yama begins with Ahimsa. Indra did Ahimsa by cutting the head of Vishwarup. And what reactions he had to undergo? The Papa personified chased after him. So similarly, Durvasa Muni. So if we subtly hurt someone, some living entities, we get the reactions for it. We may not be physically attacking someone. Definitely, if we physically attack, definitely we are going to get reactions. But even if we subtly offend or subtly do something, cause harm to someone, we are going to get the reactions. So we should be very, very careful. So Ahimsa, then Satya. Satya, don't lie. In Kali Yuga, it is very natural, to lie. What is the big deal in lying? But one should be very composed and maintain the integrity, not to lie. Then we have Brahmacharya. So celibacy. So Prabhupada gives so much emphasis on Brahmacharya, celibacy. Even in Grahasthashram, if one is strictly following that, he is only with the intention of procreation, so that person is a grahastha brahmachari. So brahmacharya is very, very important. Kaya, manasa, vacha, we have to dedicate to Krishna. So brahmachari gets immense potency. He gets mystic power. If one controls the sexual life, one gets immense power. Mystic power, Vichara Shakti, Dharana Shakti, Oja, Teja, Viveka Buddhi. So many things one gets if one simply follows the Brahmacharya. So, and one more thing, if one follows Brahmacharya, all the senses gets controlled easily. But we have to understand Brahmacharya itself is not spiritual, because if one Brahmacharya, if one is strictly following, he may get promoted to Satyaloka, Brahmaloka, not beyond that. But it can act as a springboard to go back to Godhead. So that is the reason, even being a grahastha, in our grahastha ashram also, we should not be unnecessarily indulging in sense gratification. There should be regulations. So urdhva retas means the semen doesn't fall downwards, because there is so much intelligence, discrimination, and sukshma buddhi all go away if one does that. But one has to follow the brahmacharya in such a way that the Semen flows upward. That is very, very important. So in that way, one gets the Oja, Teja, Viveka, Buddhi, with which one can understand the spiritual knowledge. And when one implements that spiritual knowledge in his practical life, he gets immense realizations. But the problem is, grahasthas or any living materialistic, if they indulge in unnecessary sense gratification, they are causing enormous anxiety. So that is the reason the grahasthas have to have the restraint. Don't accumulate too many things. Don't unnecessarily indulge in sense gratification. Big flats, atyahara, prayasascha, prajalpo, niyamagraha, janasangascha, laulyam cha, shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. So don't do prajalpa, don't do unnecessarily strenuous work, ugra karma. So not necessary. Simple living, high thinking. Prabhupada gave the simple formula. If we go to rural area, they don't expect much. They keep the door even open sometimes and they sleep. And if we ask why you are keeping the door open and sleep, even if the thief comes, what he can take? He can take some few grains or some few vegetables. That's all. Because the life is very simple. But in cities, we need to have 4-5 CCTVs. Beware of dogs. So many dogs. Beware of dogs. Some big iron gates to protect ourselves. So much of anxiety. What I have so much, some 100 crores of rupees. What if I lose? Maybe I need to earn more. The millionaire thinks I have to become billionaire, and billionaire I think I have to multi-billionaire. Because there is fear is there. So that is. But the life is very simple. If one follows simple living, high thinking, he can dedicate so much time in Krishna consciousness. So that is the yama. And we have niyama. How much time do I have? So niyama, shaucha, santosha, swadhyaya, japa. So these are the principles. Like shaucha, shuchi, with santosha, like one is Krishna conscious naturally becomes happy. His stage increases. And swadhyaya, reading Srila Prabhupada's books. So these are the principles of niyama. With this, what happens? One follows yama and niyama. What happens? What is the result of yama and niyama? Can someone tell, please? What is the result of yama and niyama? Why do we follow the rules and regulations? The shaucha, all the brahmacharya, the no atyahara, all the satya,
Hare
ahimsa.
Krishna. Prabhu, by following these rules and regulations, one comes to the platform of goodness. From
Goodness.
there, one can rise to the platform of Shuddha Sattva.
From where he can raise by chanting, right? So the mind becomes peaceful. It becomes through the mode of goodness. That is very, very important. In the Kali Yuga, we have more mode of passion and ignorance, because one is more indulged in sense gratification. Then one is more dragged to rajasic and tamasic. But by restraining, and following these satya, ahimsa, brahmacharya, shaucha, all these things, one comes to the platform of mode of goodness. And when one comes to the mode of goodness, and then he chants the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. From that mode of goodness, he can easily come to the platform of Shuddha Sattva. So holy name transcends the modes. So it is very easy. So in this way, one's mind becomes calm. So Niyama and niyama makes one mind becomes calm and senses will be controlled. And to further control the senses, one does the asanas. So with this, fully the senses are under control. Now senses are under control. Mind is also to some extent it's under control. And to fully control the mind, one does the pranayama. So with these first four processes of yama, niyama, asana, and this pranayama, one's senses and mind becomes completely under control. Then he does the pratyahara. What does the pratyahara do? It stops the enjoying spirit, the bhoga vritti. We have too much of bhoga vritti. Enjoy this, that, enjoy in that way. So many material enjoy these objects of senses we need. So that pratyahara stops enjoying spirit. Then when one does the dharana and dhyana, slowly the remembrance of the Lord increases. And when comes to the stage of samadhi, samadhi means 24/7 one is thinking of Krishna. That is complete Krishna consciousness. So Devahuti was following the Ashtanga Yoga, but she was doing the Ashtanga Yoga along with the Bhakti Yoga. So they were the devotees of the Lord. So in that way, their ultimate goal is to go back to Godhead. Do I have some more time?
Yes, Prabhu. You have
Maybe
20 minutes, Prabhu. 20
okay.
minutes.
20
Yeah.
minutes. Okay. So one day, Srila Prabhupada, he went to US. In US, one day he was going over the sea, and he saw so many surfers. Surfers, they go this way. And Srila Prabhupada saw that, and he was telling to his disciples, they are playing with the water and they are inflicting themselves with those gunas. And next life, they become fish. And so that their heart full, they can enjoy with the sea, ocean, dance with the ocean. Instead of dancing with Krishna, they can dance with ocean. So then after that, after the morning walk, he comes to the Bhagavatam class and he purposely tells, who are they? Who are they? Sufferers, he tells. So all the devotees, they laugh and they tell, no, Prabhupada, they are not sufferers, they are the surfers. Like that, the devotees tell. Then Prabhupada tells that you call them surfers, but I call them sufferers, because next life they are going to suffer, because they're going through the repeated birth and death cycle. They got the human form of life, important human form of life, using for what? Just surfing. And sometimes we see there was one person, he is having 4 cars, and what he does from morning to evening, he keeps the car, each of the 4 cars, completely clean without even one dust he wants. So morning to evening, he will be cleaning all the 4 cars only. So every day, morning to evening, he is very rich man. He's having 4 cars, but his work is only cleaning the car. So what is the use? Whole life, human life is just cleaning the car, cleaning the car. So athato brahma jijnasa. Human life is meant for self-realization. So, but the materialists, they simply waste the human life. So being devotees, we should be very, very careful. We should see to that we don't waste the time. As much as possible, we should try to perfect our life as soon as possible in this life itself. Sometimes devotees, they used to tell, sometimes offending other Vaishnavas, क्या करें, हमारा नेचर ही ऐसा है, क्षत्रिय नेचर है, what to do, our nature is like that. So one of the Maharaj, he wants, before you are a Kshatriya, you are a Vaishnava. So you should deal carefully with the Vaishnava. We can't take anything for granted. We have so much time, we have so much authority, so we have so much position, responsibility. So just you take it for granted and commit Vaishnava parad, or just waste the time in sense gratification. No, we should be very alert. Just like Prabhupada told, we should be like military men, disciplined like military men. How will be the military men? Uh, they are like very, very disciplined. So disciple means discipline. Very, very important. We have to use our all the time in practicing this way or that way. Prabhupada used to tell, if you get some free time, just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Otherwise, idle mind is devil's workshop. You will think of sense gratification only. So as soon as you get the free time, just take up the feedback and just start chanting. Don't allow the mind to wander here and there and focus on the sense objects. So that is the reason we should be focused. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kuru nandana. Then one may ask the question, then how to say no to material desires? We have so many material desires. So that is possible by practice. Practice, and when we do the swadhyaya, we get the knowledge. And that knowledge we should practice based on the wisdom. And for the consistently, we have to practice. That will destroy the material knowledge. For example, in Bhagavad Gita, it is said, what? ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते, संगात् संजयते कामात्, कामात् क्रोधो विजायते. If one contemplates on the objects of senses, then kama develops. So don't contemplate. Start contemplating on objects of senses. So this is the knowledge we have. Now we have to practice this in our daily life. So whenever we see the objects of senses, don't think in terms of bhoga vritti. Always have the seva vritti. One sees the opposite sex and sees, either he can see it as object of sense enjoyment, or he can see him as mother or brother, whatever. So that is his consciousness. So instead of contemplating on sense of object, just practice it. That whatever Bhagavad Gita is saying, don't contemplate on the object of senses. Then kama, when you contemplate, sangasteshu bhajayate, sangat sanjayate kamaha. When you think of the sense object, then only kama develops. So don't think, thinking, feeling, willing. Don't do it. So in this way, when we have the knowledge, we have to practically apply it in our day-to-day life. So unless we practice, we don't get realizations. It is not possible. So raga dvesha vimukta is to vishayan indriyescharan atmavashye videyatma prasadam adhigacchati. So in order to attract the mercy of the Lord, we have to show him that we are sincere. So how do we show him that we are sincere? By practicing in our day-to-day life. We have to showcase. When the sense objects are coming, if we try to restrain and show it to Krishna, Krishna, I'm not going to enjoy the senses, sense objects, but I'm trying to restrain. So then what? Prasadam adhigacchati. So Krishna will bestow his mercy He gives more restraint next time, more restraint, and one comes to the platform of complete restraining, and he can overcome the material desires, and that is possible in param drishtva nivartate. So rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So initially we may restrain, but the taste for the object remains like that. For example, doctor says you have this disease, you should not eat bhaji, fried items, you should not eat it. So that devotee with great difficulty is restraining not to eat oily item, fried items, and some other devotees are eating. He's restraining. But the taste is there still. Taste has not gone. Taste for the fried items is still there. But he's restraining. But one attains the higher taste. For example, if one can allow the sweet and he gets the higher taste of the sweet, then he may be automatically leaving the lower taste. So that is so rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. When we develop the higher taste, then we can leave the lower taste. In that way, one can control overcome the material desires. So Vasudeve Bhagavati, that shloka, janayati ashu vairagya jnanam. So one practices the bhakti, automatically two things will develop. What are the two things? Vairagya and jnana. So detachment naturally develops. And when one develops detachment, vairagya, he can easily say no. I don't want it. I don't want material sense gratification. So, and that's why with the jnanam, whatever knowledge we have, that knowledge we have to practically apply in our life, day-to-day life. We have to see everything in the world through the Shastra Chakshu. We have to see that everything is compassion of the Lord. We may be suffering so much. Tattenu kampam susamikshamano punjana evatma kratam vipakam. But when the suffering come, we say, Krishna, you don't understand. You are giving me suffering so much. You don't know how much I'm suffering. Instead of that, if we see that it's Krishna's mercy for my purification, if we see that way, and in this we go on accepting all the situations of our life and try to learn, practice in the Shastra in our day-to-day life, then we develop that detachment and the higher taste where we can say no to the material sense gratification. So when one restrains, restraining means obedience to Guru. Doctor has said no, don't eat bhaji, and the student is not eating bhaji. That is obedience to Guru. But after that, what practice based on knowledge, one is keep on doing. Then along with that, he is doing Shravanam, Kirtanam, deity worship, all the things he is doing. Slowly his kama, karma, bija, everything is getting destroyed. And then he comes to the platform of goodness, pure goodness. So when pure devotee, he has no kama bija, karma bija. Is completely, totally fixed in Krishna consciousness. So one can raise to the platform of Shuddha Sattva. So very, very important and very easy process. Bhakti is very simple. No, we make it so complicated. So bhakti is simple for the simple-hearted and complex for the complex-hearted. It's not a very big rocket science, is not there actually. If you follow simple rules and regulations, simple living, I thinking, definitely one can attract the mercy of the Lord, and that mercy is the key for success. So in this way, one can come to the platform of pure devotional service very soon in this life. One has to be sincere, serious, without any ulterior motives. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavratam anukulena krishna sheelanam bhaktiruttam. So in this way, if we don't have any other desires other than to serve Krishna, slowly we will come to the platform of pure devotional service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So are there any questions or comments or corrections? If something I have spoken more than my realizations, please forgive me. So we can have, if we have time, maybe 5-10 minutes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams, Prabhuji. Wonderful
Hare
class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Hare.
I have a doubt, Prabhuji. The Varnashrama, what you said, those who do not perform any bhakti for the Supreme Lord is the normal, and those who perform bhakti, and they also have to follow the Varnashrama dharma. So you said something, Prabhuji. I'm not able to understand
Yeah,
that.
everybody have to follow the Varnashrama dharma. So that is the basic dharma. So because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I created this system of Varnashrama dharma. Mm. So, but if one is not, what is the goal of Varnashrama dharma? See, basically, if one is following the Varnashrama dharma in order to be comfortably live in the material world, I will get nice children, nice car. I will be in US and I will also do some karma kanda activities, worship the devatas, and I will be happy. This type of mentality is, basically dharma, artha and kama, focused on artha and kama. So that is not completely spiritual in itself, because there is material motto, material kama is there. Artha, the kama and artha is not based on the pure intention of Krishna consciousness. But when the intention is to completely surrender to the Lord and to progress in the path of pure devotional service, and when one keeps Krishna in the center, then it becomes Daivi Varnashrama Dharma. So the same occupational duties or the rules and regulations one is following, it becomes Daivi Varnashrama Dharma. It is just like one is doing software job, and he is whatever results, whatever money he gets, he gives charity. Remaining money he will bring vegetables, groceries to cook bhoga for the Lord, for bringing flowers for the deity, bringing dress, and using the money for going for yatra. All these things, this is becomes the Daivi Varnashrama system, because here the Varnashrama is following, the Varna and Ashrama is following, Grahastha, Ashrama and Varna, some whatever, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmana, whatever, but keeping Krishna in the center. But the same thing, if he is earning so that he can comfortably live with his wife and children, I will be happy, I will have one car, nice car, I have nice bungalow, and I will be in my own world. And whenever but I will be doing some karma kanda activities, some maybe I'll do some Ganesha puja, I'll do some puja, but I'm connected to some varna and ashram. But my motto is to live comfortably in this world. That is like more of material uh, way. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. But still, we also have that desires and all of lust and everything, no, Prabhuji. So that is
Yes,
still
that is there. But what is the intention? See, in very clearly, there is Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, Uttama Adhikari. But if the intention is pure, intention is Krishna Prema only. My final goal is Krishna Prema. But my at present I have so many anarthas. But my goal is Krishna Prema only. That means I am fixed in my path. So they are called Kanishta pure devotees. There are Kanishta pure devotees, Madhyama pure devotees, and Uttama pure devotees. They are also Kanishta pure devotees because their goal is Krishna Prema only. But if the goal is different, I am chanting Hare Krishna, my goal is I want money, I want children, I want bungalow, I want car, but I am chanting Hare Krishna. And Krishna Prema dekenge, some life comes, I will achieve some lifetimes dekenge, hoga sab, baad mein, some lifetime I may achieve it. That intention, if one is having, then he is not called Kanishta pure devotee. He is having Anya Abhilasha. He is having Anya Abhilasha. But Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Abhilasha is only Krishna Prema, but I have so many material desires. Anarthas are also there. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, everything is there, but my final goal is Krishna Prema. In that case, he is Kanishta pure devotee. That means he is taking bath, he is under the shower. Very soon he will be cleansed, completely become clean. After shower, everyone becomes clean. But he is taking bath currently. Okay, all the mud, so much mud is there. The mud is going away. He is applying soap and rubbing. And immediately 5-10 minutes or 15 minutes, he will become completely clean. That time is there. Within that time, he will become completely clean. But the process is there. But if we do the Hathi Snan, we are going, taking bath and coming and pouring again the dust, then that is different. So our intention should be clear.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very wonderful session.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, like you mentioned about Kanishta pure devotee, Madhyama pure devotee, I just wanted to understand in Bhagavatam, there is a verse, Akama Sarva Kamo Moksha Kamo Udaradi. So even if we have a lot of desires, if we approach the Supreme Lord only, we knowing well that whatever comes is given by the Supreme Lord.
Yes.
So because the desire is there, but yet ultimate goal is, because we have intermediate objectives, ultimate objective, like there is immediate cause, remote cause, like that. Our ultimate goal, we know it is we have to go back to the spiritual world. But in this material world, because we have to sustain ourselves, we have to because we have come with certain level of conditioning from our previous lives, that like even when we go for yatra, right, we want we want attached bath, so why? Because we can have you can do early morning bath and go for Mangalarti. Otherwise you have to stand in the queue outside in a common bathroom, right? So the ultimate goal is to attain Krishna only, but we have some intermediate goals because we think that it will facilitate our bhakti. But in that also we are not very sure how much we are so much utilizing 100% in Krishna consciousness. That also we are not so much purified souls. But at the same time, we think that if we get these things, it will facilitate my bhakti. Like, for example, we want to, buy a house near the temple so that we can go for Mangalarti Seva very easily. Or we want to purchase a house in Vrindavan. So we think that after retirement, or Mayapur Dham for that reason, because, Guru Maharaj is there most of the time. So, after retirement, I want to buy a house in Mayapur, and Mayapur real estate prices are very high. So I want to work so that I earn money, so that everything we can connect to Krishna. Our mind sometimes tricks us also. If I get all this, then I will do this, I will do this. It's like the Brahmana who thinks that I will do this, I will do this, I will do this, and then I will do this, right? But it does not materialize that way also. So how do we strike a balance, right? We have the theory very nicely in our head, but we don't, at least I can talk for myself. I don't have the wisdom how to apply those theory in my life. I artificially think that, I want Krishna Prema as my ultimate objective, but all these things will facilitate me to attain Krishna Prema. So let me work on this parallelly, right? And Krishna also has told, Akama Sarva Kama, you Yoga Kshemam Vahamiham. We also know through Maharaj pastime. So very confusing what to apply when, application. Krishna says, Aham Ajnana Chamtaha Nashimi Atmavastu Jnana Deepena Bhashvatah. To the extent we surrender, Krishna will give us intelligence. Because from my side, I think I'm not surrendering enough. That is why I'm engaging in mental speculation, So how to strike the balance and how to get the proper, bring the jnana to vijnana so that we can apply in the life, Prabhu. Please help. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. So basically for this, we need to be sincere. So when we are sincere and try for anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam, then Krishna gives the intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. That shloka is there. I give the intelligence by which you can come to me. Krishna says very clearly. For that, we have to be very sincere. You know, we should not have ulterior motives. That is the main thing. That's why that Anya Bilashita Shunyam verse is there. And if we are having ulterior motives and in the name of Krishna consciousness, I am telling this is I will buy 4 BHK house and I will have AC and all the this one just so that I can please devotees. He tells and buys one 4 BHK house, and once in 5 years he conducts one program. So is it sincerity? No, it's not sincerity. Because in the name of serving devotees, he is enjoying the facilities. So we have to be sincere. So when we are sincere, Krishna dadami buddhi yogam tam. So Krishna gives the intelligence so that we can understand what is right, what is wrong, what is needed for my progress in the Krishna consciousness, and what is restricting my Krishna consciousness. If we are sincere, Krishna will give the intelligence. But if we have some ulterior motives, then maybe what is that verse? However, how you approach me, yeah, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tasaiva bhajamyaham. And if we think that we are clever than Krishna, Krishna, is he knows the thing. Like we can cheat anyone and everyone, but not Krishna. We can't cheat Krishna. So if we have the ulterior motives, I will tell, I will serve devotees and I'll buy 4 BHK and I'll perform one house this program for devotees in once in 5 years. It is not going to. Then we are not very sincere. So Mataji, to in short, if we are sincere, definitely Krishna will give us the necessary intelligence and it is ultimately very simple. We have to see what is favorable for my Krishna consciousness. You told so many examples in yatra. You are taking a English toilet or the private toilet or private bathroom so that you can go for the Mangalarti. You take it. If it is helping you in progressing in Krishna consciousness, you take it. House near temple, if it is really helping one in progress in the Krishna consciousness, just take it. Do the needful. So Prabhupada says what? Just do the needful. Whatever is helping you to progress in the path of pure devotional service, if it is not disturbing others, if it is not causing harm to others, do it. Take it. And but sincerely try to progress in the path of devotional service. So that's why Prabhupada says, best use of bad bargain. We have got this, what kind of body we have got this? All the Navadwaras which are having, we all produces all filthy substances only. Not very good substance. We are not living in a comfortable situation. The body is made of bone, stool, urine, pus, blood, all such substance. So bad bargain. But Prabhupada says, make best use of bad bargain. Best use. So whatever situation you have, whatever money you have, whatever wealth or children, everything, whatever you have, use best way in Krishna's service to progress in the path of pure devotional service. And if we are sincere, Krishna will help in all directions. And for that, whatever you want to do the needful, you do it. I don't know whether I have answered your question, Mataji. Please forgive me. But I
so
tried
Prabhu,
to.
you answered it very nicely, Prabhu. But one thing is, the mind tricks us sometimes, right? Sometimes the mind tricks us that, agar ye hota to main aur acha bhakti kar pati. I mean, I'm saying, sorry to say in Hindi,
Yeah.
Sometimes the mind tricks us that, if at all I have this, I can do more bhakti. These are some obstacles in my bhakti. Like that, the mind tricks us.
Yeah,
and sometimes we over endeavor also. Sometimes it's not really required. I can just tell my mind, you just keep quiet. This is enough. Sometimes the mind will give us some trick that will completely influence us. Oh, for bhakti only the mind is so we are so enamored that sometimes at least I realize after some time, I was over endeavoring. I need not have endeavored for it. So sometimes it's a late realization. Already 3-4 days or 1 week has already passed, and I was thinking, I was running behind something which is not going to really help me in bhakti. The mind is simply tricked me. Sometimes it happens with me. It has happened 2-3 times with me, Prabhu, in the recent past. So that's why I was asking you, because some are genuine, right? Because I always ask for, even when I go for yatra, the organizer, I always tell them, I need, a family room with attached bathroom. because that is a genuine need for me from my previous conditioning, Prabhu. I cannot wait in the queue and I cannot miss Mangalar. So that is genuine. I accept that, and that's why I openly tell the organizers that is something, a basic requirement which I cannot. But certain things, Prabhu, sometimes the mind really tricks me. Then I think I'm not really surrendered. I'm not chanting properly. That's why I went behind this for 1 week. It is not really helping me. It made me lose my time. So when do we understand when is the mind tricking us and when is it actually useful, Prabhu?
So that is why Bhagavad Gita gives the clear principles. So it's the basic principle is to balance. Balance. So that's why it's all the Upadeshamrita, all the principles are given so that this mind sometimes over reacts or over endeavors. All these things should not happen. So the verse, for example, yuktahara viharasya yukta karmascha cheshtasu. So why that verse is there? Don't sleep too much. Don't sleep too less. Don't eat too much. Don't eat too less. So it is to balance, because the conditioned mind, it is the nature of the conditioned mind, to sometimes it magnifies. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadradam. So that is the reason we have to make a balance, and we have to keep checking this also. This balance is maintained or not. Sometimes we overstretch ourselves, and the next day complete chanting is gone. That should not happen. We have to sustain throughout our life. That's the reason these principles are there. What? Yukta ahara, yukta karmasya chestasu, yukta swapnama bodhasya. So all these principles we have to follow. Then we can sustain over the lifelong. There is one story, I will give a small story because I think it's over. We are over time. So that one devotee comes very enthusiastically. He comes and he tells, why you are all chanting only 16 rounds? I will chant throughout the day, throughout the night. So then Prabhupada's disciples all, they were started thinking, what is this? This person is telling us like this, and okay, they left, and this person started chanting, and he's chanting day night, and this all Prabhupada's disciples started thinking, oh, he has become a Paramahamsa Babaji Maharaj. Oh, it's full chanting day night, he's chanting. And one day, after one or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he is missing. And these people, these devotees, they don't know where he has gone at all. So then he is found in the petrol bunk, near some petrol bunk. He was pouring the petrol, and these devotees asked, what happened? So he told, I have done enough quota for my whole life. That much chanting I have done. I don't want to chant anymore. So this is the example of over endeavoring, over reacting. Sometimes, sometimes the conditioned mind is sometimes it does like that. So we should be very, very careful in balancing our life. That is because we have to play a long term, till the end of our life. We have to sustain Krishna consciousness. So that is the reason. So conditioned mind is always tricking us, because mind is a non-devotee, it is said. So it will give us such a suggestion that it will always create havoc in the devotional life. So we need to be very, very careful. And if we are sincere, definitely Krishna will help. Again, if we are sincere and if we keep on praying to Lord, pray to Guru, pray to other acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, then definitely they will help you and you will get required intelligence so that you can face these type of situations where your bhakti is steady and you are progressing very fast in your devotional service. I don't know whether I was answered again, Mataji. Please forgive me. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, very beautifully answered, Prabhu. I mean, next time the mind tricks us, we will think of this devotee who became who was seen in the petrol bunk. Very beautifully explained, Prabhu. Especially, sometimes we become very enthusiastic and sometimes over endeavor in spiritual life also, we don't balance. And then it becomes, because it's not a 100-meter race, it is a very long race that we have to run till the end of our life.
Yeah, you're right. It's not 100 meters, it's a marathon of 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers. You have to keep up the energy to run till the last 10th kilometer also. You can't say I'm fed up or something like that.
Very beautiful, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Suma Mataji has raised her hand again. I'm not sure. Ashish Prabhu, is there time, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. That is pronounced.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, if the hands are raised because of the question, Prabhuji, you have time to take.
Yeah, I have time.
Yeah. Suma Mataji, you can ask your question.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for having patience, so much of patience and guiding us, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in this class today, Prabhuji, you said that some Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu, that shloka you said, referred, Prabhuji. Whatever our thoughts we think of, the next moment that will come into actions. So this is what said, no, Prabhuji. So practically to practice that, it is very difficult. The mind's actions are of thinking, feeling, and willing. So how can we do that, Prabhuji, practically? All the time?
Yeah, so that is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita itself. So whenever it should be, you should not go to the feeling level itself. In the thinking, before the thought comes, you should divert the mind. That is the process. So actually, I don't know which sloka it is mentioned, first you restrain the senses. Then automatically the other mind and intelligence becomes controlled. That means the thought comes, before the thought comes itself, you have to divert the mind to Krishna. So that means in the thinking process, if you don't try to feel it, if you are surpassed thinking and you come to the stage of feeling, then also it's possible to control. But feeling, if you start feeling it, then it is difficult. Then you will it and you do it. So the simplest process to control the mind and senses, that the thought comes before that itself. Thinking, you should not think. That's the reason Sangas that dhyayate vishayan pumsam. Dhyayate means what? Dhyana. You should not do that contemplation of the sense objects. That thinking stage itself, before the thought comes, you should. That's why it is like you should be very, very alert. What time the thought comes, you should be immediately putting, engage in Krishna's thoughts. For that, alertness is required. So don't go to the feeling level. In the thinking level itself, that thought should be diverted to Krishna's lotus feet. If you come to the feeling level, then it's very difficult. So then you will willing, thinking, feeling. Then next step is willing, and then you do it. You start feeling it, then you will it, and you do it. So stop in thinking stages only, like that.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was helpful. Hare Krishna. Pranams, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Pranams, Prabhuji.
Mahima Mataji, I have a question.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I am 21-year-old girl and I am studying in college. So I have so many works like homework and workshops I have to attend and so many things. So the thing is, I tried so much to get up to go to the bed very early, but sometimes it's happening 11 p.m. or 11:30. Still, I tried to get up early and go to the Mangala Aarti, and I did. But sometimes what happening,
you are in mute.
Hello?
You mute, yeah.
Still, Yes, still 3 days. It's happening like I reached to the temple for 5 minutes late. I reached there. So the thing is, I feel very bad. Why I'm reaching there late for the 5 minutes, and I cannot balance that. So how can I maintain that?
Yeah. So basically, first thing is early to bed, early to rise. Because what happens, the 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, whatever sleep we are getting, that 1 hour is equivalent to 2 hours. So if we sleep between 9 to 12, okay, that 3 hours of sleep is equivalent. I'm not telling this, the effect will be the double. So that means the refreshment what you get in those 9 to 12, that will be double. So equivalent of 6 hours sleep you got in that 3 hours only. Then what happens? Then remaining 3 hours, say you're sleeping till 3 o'clock. So Prabhupada said 6 hours is more than enough. If one is in not done so much strenuous physical work or something, 6 hours is more than enough. So 9 to 3 o'clock. So that means equivalent of almost 9 hours sleep one has got there. So completely refreshed. So remaining whatever time, 3 o'clock to, you can, I mean, one can utilize in chanting and other things. And another point is, even if you reach 5 minutes late, that should not cause you so much disturbance. That is we should not be perfectionist. One thing we have to understand, we should not be perfectionist that uh, this ऐसा ही होना है नहीं तो कुछ गड़बड़ है ऐसा. It's not that way. We should not be that rigid. So because tapascharya causes rigid heart, okay, when one does severe austerities, one's heart becomes hard. But devotees, that they should not make their heart hard. That we should understand. The heart should be very soft. So we don't have to be so rigid, because the nature of tapasya is that only heart becomes hard. So we can be practical enough. 5 minutes here and there, 10 minutes here and there. It's okay. Because I have the remaining days, time of the day, where I can engage in full Krishna consciousness. So if one is feeling 9 o'clock is too early, then definitely Prabhupada says what? 10 to 4 is also fine. Because 10 to 12, one gets 4 hours of sleep equivalent. Then another 4 hours. So 8 hours of equivalent sleep he has got. So that way we can balance, try to go early to the bed and rise very early in the morning. And that way one's refreshment is more, and the whole energy throughout the day is also more. I don't know
Yes,
whether I
Prabhuji.
answered, but
Yes, Prabhuji, you answered very nicely. But sometimes we don't want to be a rigid, but still there is a guiltiness. We feel like why I'm too much getting late there. That's the problem of mine.
no guilt.
When I'm reaching na, Gurvastikam is almost going to complete. So that's
Yeah, that is sometimes it is okay. I mean, in the okay in the sense, we have to be practical basically. Guilty, you don't have to feel guilty, because guilt happens when we have done something wrong to others. We have offended someone, we have caused harm to someone, or we have done some work which is not pleasing to the Lord. That time it should cause the guilt, not otherwise. If you are reaching little bit late, then you are reaching there, some half mangalarti definitely. So that should not cause so much disturbance, because we again, as the same question as our previous question, that we are going to sustain in the long run marathon, and we are not running 100 meters here. So for that to happen, we have to be consistent throughout for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, remaining part of our life. That means still it's okay. Why? Because you are then after Mangalarti, we have the Narsimarti, Tulsi Arti, and all the Shikshashtakam. Main part, 99% of the advancement comes from chanting. So after this morning programs, we have chanting. There we have to be very, very attentive. And if we have done the best chanting, our most of the task is accomplished there itself, because 99% of the advancement in bhakti comes from chanting. And all the other Mangalarati, Bhagavatam class, all the things are there to facilitate our best chanting, quality chanting. So if you are doing that, then most of the part is done. So don't have to feel guilty and all. You do your best, and remaining part you completely depend on Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. So, any other questions, or shall we wind up the class?
Hare Krishna, no questions, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class and guidance for all of us, Prabhuji. Thank you for giving your association, Prabhuji. We will end with the Vaishnava prayers, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to you,
Pranam.
Prabhuji. All
Wonderful
glories to you.
class, full lot of
To the
clarity.
assembled devotees.